Um, and that's not because of choice. You know, there's a lot of unseen hands that we actually don't see, and there's a lot of propaganda that's being pushed on us that's reverse engineering our thought process in the way that we think and stuff. And I'm not putting all the blame on the women, and I'm not going to put all the blame on the men, because we both have a choice to accept what we're going to deal with. See, but the thing is, our children don't have a choice. Our children don't actually come here. And ladies, you hold the key to sex. Men holds the key to marriage. So why not be that woman that he wants to marry? Because if you actually want to marry a certain type of man, a certain type of man is not going to put up with certain type of behavior. Now let me switch it back to the man. Now, if you know this woman is not the woman that you want to marry, guys, we got to have some dick discipline. We can't be what I call tender dick. Just because you want to lay down and sleep with her, I understand the nature of the man, but we're going to have to do some prayer and fast to you know, to control our nature and to control our urges of just wanting to have a sex with a woman, knowing you're not going to be with her, knowing that you're not going to marry her. I'm guilty of this, but the older I get, I don't lay down and sleep with women that I know that I wouldn't want to marry. Now that's a catch-22 situation, because normally the sex comes before the marriage, and normally the sex comes before you actually know the woman. Correct me if I'm wrong. Send some comments. You know, tell me what you think. I want comments. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you ladies. So where was I? The War of the Roses, the war of the gender wars. And back when I was coming up, we knew that the man was supposed to be head of the household. And a lot of times that did happen and it didn't happen. But yet still, we was going through that. You know, I grew up in the 70s. So we were still in that era of, I guess, what they call Jim Crow, where they was actually busing us to these white schools, or they was integrating white children to our schools, because we had all black schools. We had a all black everything, really, until the integration, and a lot of the stuff was, you know, taken away due to the fact that, you know, the socially engineering, you know, reversed our mentality, thinking that white was right. So we wanted to spend our money over there with, you know, the white people, and not spend it, you know, with the black businesses and stuff. So the black businesses kind of went down. For, you know, you guys that's around my age, you can probably kind of understand it a little bit more. But that's for a different video. I'm not going to get so much into that. I just want to cover some basics and stuff on, you know, some of the hottest topics, or the hot topic on social media, which is real estate and the War of the Roses between genders. I guess more so in, you know, our community, but, you know, like I said, I grew up where we knew the man was the head of the household, regardless if he could handle the household. The women were strong enough to still not take his dignity away as a man. And if they had to go out and work and actually contribute, they did what they had to do, but they didn't actually beat their man down. Because look at it like this, lady. If you're constantly beating your man down and belittling your man, at some point in time, you're not going to have anything to love. And when he do get himself together, a lot of times he may want to leave, because he don't want to deal with the ridicule and the verbal abuse that, you know, some men may suffer. And I'm not just saying that and putting it all on you women and stuff, but like I said, we all have a role to play. That's why I do what I do, to try to help men to become better versions of themselves, and to get them to see that we are the providers and the provisionaries and the protectors of our children and our women and stuff. But, you know, let's fast forward it, you know, to 2023, or not so much 2023, but back during the, I don't know, well, it wasn't Jimmy Carter. Well, I think, well, was it Jimmy Carter? Jimmy Carter was back, what, in the 70s? Well, back, yeah, under the Bill Clinton era, whatever. There was a lot of laws and stuff that was put in place, to incarcerate black men, but not to say that that's an excuse, because I tell you guys today, right from wrong. If you do something, it can land you in jail. Just like I tell my sons, you're of age now, so you got to watch what you do. One false move, you can end up in jail for a lifetime. But just to say that during the Bill Clinton era, a lot of our women, they got educated. They got educated. And just to say, ladies, a lot of you guys got arrogant and you got big-headed, because what that did was that actually put you in front of your man financially. But it didn't make you better than your man, because you can make $1 million a year. Now, peep game, ladies, you can make $1 million a year, but you're still not as important as your man, because in any country or any village, your village is as good and as strong as the men, because it's the man that does the fighting, it's the man that does the heavy lifting, it's the man that does the protecting. So you can make $1 million, but somebody told you from a financial perspective, if you make more money than a man, that you're better than that man or you're stronger than that man. You're not stronger than that man. And I want you guys to understand, just because a woman makes more money than you doesn't make her role as important as yours. Now, we both have important roles, but it's the man that's the builder, that's the creator, that's the provisionary, and the protector. And ladies, if you have a problem with that, you have to take that up with the creator. A man is a very important individual, because if you have a tribe, and if a group of vandals came to pillage and to rape you, who are you going to depend on? You're going to depend on your man to actually protect you. If something happened and you call the police, 9 times out of 10, it's a man going to show up. If there's a fire or something break out, 9 times out of 10, there's a man going to show up, to do the heavy lifting, to keep the power grids and stuff going. 9 times out of 10 is men. So ladies, I'm not saying this to be arrogant or to make you upset or anything, but you have to humble yourself and to realize the importance of men. And if there was no men in this world, how comfortable would you be? If the power grid went out, it's going to take you ladies a long time, to actually get the power back on. That's just for example and stuff. And I'm just not putting it all on you ladies, because ladies, I'm actually trying to help you, because what I'm hearing from these guys today and what they're saying about, and I'm just going to use the black community for this example. What I'm hearing, and when I ask the guys, what's going on, with your dating, what's going on with the ladies, you know what they tell me? These itches or bees are crazy. You can't talk to them. They don't want to compromise. They think that they're ahead of you just because they make more money than you or whatever. But ladies, that's been reverse engineered, and you see where that gets us. Well, David, what do you mean where it gets us or whatever? I don't want no scrub, or I don't want this type of man. Just him being a man alone, you're getting something more valuable than just money, ladies. So don't let society, or don't let the psychological reverse engineering throw you off of your game and to keep you from a man covering you. You may make more money. Granted, things and times change. That's fine. But you have to look at what you have to choose from. And when I say what you have to choose from, I don't want to hear, oh, these men ain't shit, or these men ain't that, or they all cheat. I don't want to hear that, because if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a woman, he's not going to do all that. Trust me. Some may and some may not. But when you say a man cheating, statistically, like my man Kevin Samuel said, men cheat at a rate of 28%. Women cheat at a rate of 24%. So if that's the case, we almost cheat at an equally percentage rate. And then look at it like this, ladies. 54% of men are single and childless. So what do you mean there's no men to choose from? 54%, that's more than the majority. Or that's more than the minority. I guess it can go both ways. So 54% of men are single and childless. 30% of men are married. Now, 54 and 30, that's 84%. Now that leaves 16% of men. But there's 80% of women having babies without being married. 75 to 80%. There's 80% of single moms raising children with no father in the house. So you can actually say 16% of the men are impregnating almost 80% of the women. So now, well, where does the problem lies? Well, David, I don't understand what you're saying. Well, rewind the video back and let me break it down slowly again. For the ladies that's saying that there's no good men, or why do men impregnate women and leave them to raise the child? But there's only small percentage of men doing that. You just don't know how to choose the right man because you're actually looking for the 1, 5, 10, 15% of men. But the question is, do you qualify for these particular men? Because these particular men, 9 times out of 10, that's making that 75 to 100,000, 150, 250,000. They want something from a woman. You can't come to these type of men and make demands. And if you're combative, if you're argumentative, if you don't keep yourself fit, or if you don't keep yourself looking good, if you have these ridiculous eyelashes and these weaves and wigs and stuff, that type of man, he has a large range of women to choose from. And a lot of times he can go outside of his race and choose a woman, opposed to you black women on a small percentage scale. The white boy, the Mexican, the Arab, or the Asian, it's not going to put up with you. And I'm saying this, ladies, to actually help you. I understand you. Just go ahead and leave your comments. I know you're going to leave your comments and stuff like that, but we need to get out of that. If men saying something about women, the first thing you ladies say is, well, what about men? Or vice versa. If ladies are saying something about men, the first thing men say, well, what about the women? But let me get back to the statistics, the facts, and the data. Ladies, 54% of men are childless and single. So you do have men you can choose. It's just that a lot of times you might not have what it takes to actually get these men. 54% childless and single. 30% are married with children. So if you take the 54% and the 30% that's married with children, you got 84%. Now you got 16% of men that's out there having babies. And normally these men have multiple babies with multiple women. So if 80% of the women are single and raising children at 80%, there's 15% of men that's making the babies with 75 to 80% of the women. So the question, ladies, is who has the problem? I think you ladies, just let me share this with you, and I've said it many of times. Your femininity is your power. Your femininity is your power. And a lot of times, I know you ladies are afraid. You do silly things, you say silly things. And I think that actually comes off of fear because you really don't know how to interact with men or to get the type of man that you want. But they have etiquette school. They have classes that you can attend that helps you be more feminine. For example, if you talk with a deep voice, or if you talk with vigor, and you talk really fast, that comes off to men as being masculine. But what you can do with that is talk slower and talk with a lower tone. But not so low to where a person can't hear you, but you have to learn how to talk lower and to talk slower. That comes off as being feminine. Masculinity is attracted to femininity. Ladies, you don't want your man to be feminine, do you? Well, hell no, David. Well, okay. He doesn't want his woman to be masculine. Now, I know this conversation and all of this stuff that's going on, social media with the War of the Roses and the gender wars and stuff like this. It may be too late for certain cultures or certain races. It just may be too late. Because now I'm seeing the women that's supposed to be actually teaching, the older women that's supposed to be teaching the younger girls, you can't tell who from who. They're acting just like the younger generation. And it's just sad. But ladies, I'm not trying to put it all on you, but us men, we have to do work too. These are some of the guys, that I work with. And I tell them, if you're going to sleep with her, just be upfront with her and let her choose. But most men is not going to tell you that. They're going to go along to get along. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to hear until they get that pussy. And if you get out of line, they out of there. They didn't got what they already wanted. And I tell them, guys, just be straight up with her. She's old enough to know right from wrong, or she's old enough to consent. If you tell her you're not looking for anything serious, and if she lay down to you and have sex with you, okay, fair exchange is no robbery. But if you lie to her and tell her, you're looking for a long-term relationship, or I've done it. I'm guilty of it as well. You're looking for a long-term relationship, or you're looking for that significant other, and one day that you can get married and live happily ever after and stuff, and you guys can travel all around the world and go on these trips and stuff and hold hands and walk by the sandy beaches and have picnics and stuff. If you tell her all that shit and you don't mean it, she believing you. So now she sleeps with you. So now she starts to get demanding. She starts to get combative. She starts to get bossy. And ladies, when you do that, he's gone. He done already got what he wants. So I'm just saying it goes both ways, ladies, and I'm actually trying to help you to actually get your man. And the conversations and stuff that's going around is that you ladies you're too masculine, you're too bossy, you're too hard, you don't take accountability for your actions and stuff. And ladies, your education and the money that you're making, no, that doesn't make you valuable. The only thing make you valuable is your youth. Now you can be valuable to the person that you have. So you have to concentrate on what he wants and what he likes. And the value that he actually sees in you. And then on the flip side with the guys, you got to get educated to lead these women. You got to tell her, baby, we don't do this. If she get too out of line, you tell her, I don't give a fuck about your education. I don't give a fuck, about how much money you make. This is the way things are going to be. And ladies, you can understand that. You might not like it, but when you sit down and analyze the situation, you be like, oh, whoa, girl. This motherfucker told me that if I'm not on his page, there is going to be no us. Well, girl, what you going to do? Now, if she's a good girlfriend, she going to say, girl, I expect you to get on his page. Is he working? Yeah, he working. Does he handle his business? Yeah, he handle his business. Does he have his own place? Yeah, he has his own place. Does he have his own car? Yeah, he has his own car. And he has a side business too. He always striving to be a better version of himself. Well, bitch, you better sit your damn self down and do what that man asks you to do. Now, if you got a girlfriend that's hating, she gonna be like, oh, and that don't have nobody, she gonna be like, oh, girl, leave that joker alone. He ain't no good. Leave him alone. He ain't no good. Ladies, those are the ones that you stay away from. And ladies, if you have aunties, or if your mother is still living, and if your grandmother is still living, and they've been married for a long period of time, or whatever situation, just go to them. Hey auntie, hey mom, or hey grandma, what's the best advice you can give me to find the type of man that I want, or to get married? And if they start off with some negative bullshit, don't listen to it, because you don't want to hear anything negative. You want positive stuff. And it's just sad just to see our young ladies, what's going on social media. I don't know if it's just anecdotal when it comes to, my video feeds or my reels, that what I'm seeing on social media. I mean, I'm sure if I'm seeing it, people in the black community is seeing the same thing, because it's socially engineered. And then I put a blame on a lot of the guys too, because the woman, by nature, she's going to follow you anyway just because of your man. It's just nature. She can't get around it. So she's confused. Especially if she don't know how to do something or know how to be a certain way. She's not going to admit it. It's just her nature. So you as a man, you have to get educated to bring certain things out in her and to sit her down and explain to her. Baby, I know it's not easy. I know you want to sit back and not make all the hard decisions in life and stuff. I understand that. But this is the way it's going to be, in the way that it needs to be. I would never disrespect you, as long as you don't disrespect me. Don't ever raise your hand to me. I would never raise my hand to you. If we're going to be together, we're going to, put our finances together or whatever. Okay, we got a pot for whatever the bills we're going to pay. Those are for you guys that's actually living together. We're going to put a pot in. I know a lot of circumstances are differently, but if you're not a guy that's capable of taking care of all the bills and stuff like that, and say, well, I'm going to pay the bills and we're going to do this with your money. And ladies, you got to be willing. We're going to invest your money here. It ain't that he pay all the bills and you working and making just as much money as he is, and you take all your money and do what you want to do. No, you're trying to build something. Or you could take, you have a account, put your money to take care of the necessities and the bills or whatever, and then you guys can sit down and come up with whatever the rest of the money that you're going to do. And guys, you have to learn how to pick. You have to learn how to pick a woman or a wife, especially if you're going to marry her. Because you have to think along on down the road. If you get a divorce, how is the judge going to decide? And most judges decide based on a tradition. If you're the man going out and taking care of all the bills, and she's at home and ain't never worked in 12, 13 years and to raise the kids, and if you get a divorce, be expected to keep that tradition going. That's how judges decide if you're going to get a divorce. Now, if she works and make just as much money as you do, that's a different type of tradition that you have in your marriage. The judge is going to look at the tradition that you guys have. Okay, she's making just as much money. She can take care of herself. She has her own car. She pays her own car. 9 times out of 10, she won't get no alimony. 9 times out of 10, she won't get no child support. If you know how to fight it, the judge will keep the tradition going, whatever the marriage was based on. If she's a stay-at-home mom and you've been taking care of her and taking care of the kids, that's what the tradition is going to be. I'm not telling you guys not to get married. You do whatever you want to do. Get married, have as many kids as you want to do, but just let me inform you how things could go if you marry and then you get a divorce. The judge is going to decide based on the tradition and the trajectory of the type of relationship that you guys had, you know. So ladies, I mean fellas, I want to hear comments from you guys. We can piggyback on this later. Like I said, I'm new to this stuff. I'm gonna try to get into some live videos to where we can have people coming up and discussing certain topics, or you know, giving their point of view. But you can leave your comments in this particular video, and I would do my best to answer them, but I definitely will actually read some of the comments and actually create more content on the comments. And ladies, from the bottom of my heart, I want to see you ladies win. So don't take anything derogatory from what I'm saying. We're all in this thing together. We are constantly learning, and hopefully we can come to a solution, and not let the powers, the unseen powers, the hands that rocks the cradle, the psychological reverse engineering through propaganda and social media get the best of us, because we are stronger than that. We are better than that. And I talk to you guys later.